27th of August. It's the final trading day of the week, and obviously it's the final Friday of August as well. We're moving to September. September can be quite volatile for markets. September, October time, summer season over in the Northern Hemisphere. Obviously, it's been a very unusual year as well. We've bounced back from the pandemic. We've got issues with the virus still spiking in certain parts of the world. Sluggish sort of vaccine takes up in some parts of the world. We've got some good vaccine take ups, obviously, in part of the world, and then we've hit sort of a level where we're getting to the people that don't want to take the vaccine for various reasons, people that won't take the vaccine for various reasons, and so that's all sort of hanging on sentiment. But as far as the big news today, it's obviously about Mr. Powell's speech. Neem, good afternoon. We'll come to the markets in a minute. Sterling, you want to have a look at cable? Fairly well based. Again, Neem, tell me what particular time frame you might be interested in. The chart I've got here first is the dollar CAD, because we've got Canadian data out as well in about 8 minutes. But I say they're really obviously the focus of this week and most of August, to be honest, has been the meetings that started yesterday in Wyoming, in a place called Jackson Hole, where the great and the good of central bankers will be meeting, but remotely, virtually. So the fact they're going virtual added to this idea that there's not going to be a major announcement with regard to tapering. Markets have got very hot under the collar under the expectation of tapering. We had three. Nothing surprisingly from the three key members of the Fed yesterday, and even Mr. Bostic this morning, talking about wanting to do tapering. Bullard, Kaplan, and Chief Hawk at the moment, Nestor George, all talking about starting to taper 10, 20 billion as quickly as possible, September, October. And Bostic said this morning, if the jobs data holds up, he doesn't seem any reason why they shouldn't start tapering in October. So before this bullish tilt we've got, it was expected that nothing was really going to happen. So remember, Jay Powell and Clarida and the other key Williams, the other key vice chairs within the Fed, are still very much on the dovish side and very much centrist, even if they sort of appear to be tweaking a bit hawkish. But there's one argument to say that tapering needs to start now. The economy is in serious danger of overheating. The other argument is that the jobs data is still a bit patchy. The recovery is still patchy, and the weakest in the economies are getting hit the hardest from the pandemic, and they're recovering the slowest. So let's give them a helping hand. Obviously, somewhere in between is some sort of moderation. So that's why, as far as the market is concerned, it's anticipating no tapering till really into November. That might get brought forward with anything that Jay Powell says today, but absolutely. So gold, I'll be honest, saying I'll come back to all your comments, guys. So welcome everybody. Hope you're all safe and staying safe. Tell me about gold. We'll come to gold in a minute. Gold first. Okay, gold's had a right old move, guys. If I just get rid of my ugly mug and my door handle, and see I'm actually sat in my father's house in the northeast of England, in a very small bedroom. It's very badly decorated in here, but anyway, such is life. So dollar CAD, this is the main one, but you wanted to have a look at gold first. So let's you were first up, so let's have a look at gold. This is the daily chart for the gold market. You can see we were all the way up here at 1900. This takes us back to June, July, up here. There we go. At this 1900 level, we sank very quickly. We recovered, but we didn't recover 50% of that big move down, and that sits at 1832, and that's our key level there. If you can see that there, that's our key resistance level in the higher time frame, 1832, 1835, where that 50% Fibonacci retracement is from back in June. So what happened then? We went up, we didn't get there, we tested it again, this 1832, then we sank down, we went to a lower, low here, big sell-off here, as I'm sure you're all aware, into in August, earlier this month, Down we went, and we tested all the way down to 16.89 intraday. The end of day gold price didn't want to close below 17.25, so we got a new sort of end of day low. Recovered a wee bit, and now here we are now struggling with 1800. So if we zoom in for the last few weeks or so, struggling to get over 1800. We've been testing it again today. We've had a fairly spiky start to the day, 1820. But as you can see here, since this low on the 9th of August, at the beginning of the month, we've tended to pressure higher, but we've got this nice little sort of supported trend line here, you could say, as we go up. But we can't pressure above this 1800 level. So the big psychological 1800 level. So we've got 1800, and then above that is that key 50% Fibonacci level at 1835, and then the 61.8 sits there at 1850. So 1835, 1850, two big lines in the sand for gold. As far as intraday is concerned, this week we've had a busy old week for the gold market. Zoom out. There we are. A busy old week, and we've been quite choppy. So going back to this time last week, we were down here. This low here. This is the 20. Oh, this is opening closing prices last. Is this the 20? Yeah, last Friday was here. We were all the way down here at 1775. We've rallied up to 18. Breached 1800, couldn't hold it. We got as high as 18.9 here early in the week. Now we drifted down, and now we've moved back up. So trend followers were short here during Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Went long here yesterday afternoon. Rallies up, and it's taken you out here this morning. And it's playing at the moment. It's playing with the 20 period moving out. Let me just check my friends over on Facebook, because I can't see any questions from you guys, but let's get you all in a minute. I'll leave the gold chart if you don't mind. Who's asking about gold? Zombie was asking about it. Nina. Okay. So here, this is the 1 hour chart. So it's long this morning. It's looking like it's wanting to go. It's triggered short here on this particular strategy, this moving average strategy here this morning, or in fact at 2 o'clock. Server time went against you, but your stop loss would be sort of back up here somewhere at 1801 at least. But that's still short. The ATR on the 1 hour is about $3. So there's lots of movement in that. So you can see so you'd be expecting at least a $5 move. At least a $5 move gives you 1.5 ATR here. We're trading that one here, so that would have gone short there. Using this at 2 o'clock, but doesn't want to go any lower, does it? Obviously, markets are very much waiting on Powell's speech. Obviously, the gold market and the oil market were both hit significantly because of the attack in Kabul yesterday. That's what shot the oil price up. 90 odd people killed, unfortunately, and obviously the situation in Afghanistan itself, the wider Afghanistan, is obviously potentially a big underminder of sentiment. But at the moment, markets unfortunately tend to throw off these deadly attacks and sort of somewhat ignore them. Unfortunately, it's the nature of markets and everything. They're absolutely brutal, literally brutal. So that's gold, Obiana. It's going down. If we can break under and hold under this level here, 1793.96. I don't know why it's on this chart at the moment, but it's obviously on there for a reason. That's this support area here from on Wednesday. So 1793.96, call it 1794 is our support there on that 1 hour chart. But at the moment, it's just playing around with a 21 hour EMA. That's what that pink line is on this. So let me zoom in. The pink line here, the magenta line here, is that 21 EMA. You can see the blue 5 period, the faster moving EMA, has crossed under the 9 period. So that's a trigger of a short there on that candle there. It's gone against us initially, but that's still moving down. It went short at 1794.43. The ATR at the time was 2.6. So you're looking for at least twice that for $5, take you to 17.90. This sort of range here. Your target, your stop loss up here. You trail it down as the price moves down. Trading that one. Vicky, Jackson Hole's absolutely everything's really on hold. Vicky, well, not on hold, but really going sideways. If we look at the euro, here since yesterday. Really, we've been sort of sliding sideways. 17.25 the support. We're above that now. We're at 17.50 is our support today. See, that's a low from yesterday. So that's the support today. Going higher, euro will need to break really over yesterday's pitch higher at 17.75. But really not a great deal of action waiting on some possible direction from Jay Powell. Potential non-event as well. That's the other thing that's really getting priced in by many analysts as well. That this is a big talking shop. The fact they're not actually meeting face to face, eyeball to eyeball, suggests no big announcement, major announcement. Jay Powell is he's a central banker. He's head of the central bank. There's talk this last night that President Biden wants to reappoint him as for a second term. None of these things are cast in snow. Remember, Powell was actually appointed by Trump, and they had certain amounts of fallout. You got lots and lots of criticism from President Trump. Obviously, Biden's a completely different personality, hasn't intervened in that sense. But also taught that Lyde Berdard could become one of the new vice chairs as well. There's 3 vice chairs, a spare vice chair position at the moment. She's a bit of a long-term dove, very much on the dovish side of things, Bernard. So say all that pans out as well, Vicky. You're absolutely right. Dow speaks in at 1400. A GMT Powell speech actually comes out. So let's just have a quick look at the data, the core PCE and the some inventory data from Canada as well. So the core hasn't come out for some reason. Why is that delayed? Yeah, no, it's bang in line with expectation, 0.3% for the month. The core PCE. This is the Fed's preferred measure of inflation. It's all about all goods and services in the month, excluding the core number is the key one because it excludes food and energy costs, so oil and heating costs, and people paying food, because that can fluctuate very, very significantly. So the core inflation for goods and services that the Fed likes to look at has gone up 0.3 of 1% last month, bang in line with expectations, but less than last month when it went up 0.4 of 1%. So again, not a big market moving piece of info. The big data is there. The personal income this month has jumped to 1.1%. That's much more, much higher than expected. It was expected 0.2% for the month, but 1.1% for personal income this month, and spending is more or less in line. And wholesales inventories have actually gone up they're actually better than expected, 0.6 of 1%. So that data in the round there out of the US is okay. It's pretty in line with expectations. It's sort of solid. Remember, we've had some really, really strong corporate earnings this quarter out of the United States. So lots of companies reinvesting. So capital expenditure is ramped up as well, or ramping up as states and businesses come out of the pandemic in the United States, and people start to go back to work. The schools are back in the United States. Obviously, the virus, as you said at the beginning, still is there. It's not going away. And yesterday there was 100,000 hospitalizations for the first time in 8 months in the United States. So 100,000 people in hospital throughout the United States with COVID infection. So it's tending to be younger people now as well. And obviously there's the hard rump of people that won't take the vaccine for various reasons. There's also a rump of people that have just had one and not the second one. Younger people are tending to be less likely to take it up as well. So it's a still issue. You're obviously not going to get everybody to take the vaccine. It's like you're not going to everybody to stop smoking, but it's an ongoing concern. As you can see, the euro's hardly moved on that data at 117.60. So hardly ever moved. So let's have a look at some of these charts everybody wants to have a look at. So Obiano, somebody else asked about cable, I think, right at the beginning. Neem, cable. So pound against the yen. Pound against the dollar. Cable again for the week. Where are we? We were down here again this time last Friday. 136.05. I think that might have been low for a big rally this week. Dollar's weakened, odd sterling's moved up through 137, up through 137.50. Couldn't hold 137.50 yesterday. Crept down yesterday as the dollar came back back under 137, over 137 this morning, and we're halfway between the two now, 137.25. So sterling's up, dollar's a bit weaker against sterling after that move. But again, another one that was trending lower. That went long. That went long this morning. Can't see that, can you? Let's change the colour of that line so we can't see it. There we go. So, Neem, I don't know what time frame you're trading at, but as you can see, that's triggered up this morning from a just move down here. You would have taken, again, if you'd gone short then here yesterday at 10 o'clock yesterday, you've traded that all the way down. We haven't gone back over the 9 period. We tested it. You'd have closed your trade out this morning at 136.95 from a entry up here at 137.45, so a nice 40 odd pips on that one, and then that's triggered long this morning. So you closed your short trade, an hour or two later you've gone long. It's gone against you for a little while. Again, you should have had that's your entry. You count 1, 2, 3 or 5 candles back, depends on how you're trading it. Let's say you're a bit more aggressive, we count 3 candles back, so your stop loss is initially there, so you're still in that trade. Your target, you should, I like using the ATR. So target is 12, 13, say 10 pips an hour, so 2 times that, 137.60. You want to go 24. Some guys might be out of that. It's 2 times the ATR already, or still in it because it's still trending up, and get out when it closes back on the 9 period. So cable's long there on the 1 hour so far, 137.50. Line in the sand from yesterday, maybe a step too far, but let's see. Obviously not a lot, whether you want to really trade this with Jackson Hole coming up. It's each to their own, guys. Have a system and trade your system. So what else have we got on here? Neem's asking about gold. We just looked at gold. Everybody's talking about gold. Everybody okay? We'll come back to gold. He's safe. What currency is this? Shafaz. Sorry, I just left some up. This one is. Sorry, we can't see, can we? It's this is cable. This is pound against the dollar. Jimmy, I don't speak Spanish, I'm afraid, but we have my colleague in Mexico City does these sort of things in Spanish, so please. Which direction of gold is the easier taper, please? Which direction of gold is the easier taper? What's happening, guys? Let's just go back to the daily, this wider time frame about the asset issue. What's happening really is a trend following trader, or there's not a great. There's been a lot of volatility here in the gold market, but at the moment here, since this leg up here on the at the end of the 23rd here, this big cable up, we haven't really broken out of this range now. So as I said earlier, really to get a direction, we want to break above significantly above 1800, so 1803, 1804, something like that on an end of day basis. But if we're going to move down, we also need to break down below this range here, so under 1775. So a relatively $30 gap there on gold going forward. If there's some positive talk about the taper being bigger than perhaps the market's expected, if Powell actually talks about tapering, at the moment, remember, they're just talking about it. Like they'll discuss it at their September meeting. Probably what might do, announce something in their October meeting. And again, it's all to do, there's lots of people in the meeting. There's 9 of them that vote. So it's that moving forward, whether this actually happens here at Jackson Hole. Many are thinking that's not going to happen. But so if that happens, they're more hawkish. The dollar will appreciate, or should appreciate. That's the theory. The dollar should appreciate. Therefore, gold should weaken simply because this is the other side of that trade, isn't it? If the dollar's getting stronger, the thing on the other side, which is the gold, the actual solid gold, should go down. So also equities would start to cool. You would expect if the dollar gets stronger, but let's wait and see what happens. But at the moment, you can see very much gold since the big leg up has been range bound, but it's been biased higher since the big shakeout earlier in the month, didn't it? Didn't want to go down, didn't really want to go below 1730. That 2-day shakeout, we've gone back down. We've had a big move up. Obviously, the geopolitical worries adds to gold's appeal, so it teals up. But psychologically, 1800 still becomes quite a key issue. Now, let me see if there's anybody on Facebook. Vicky says she's following everyone. Euro, New Zealand, Euro CAD, weekly chart and an hour chart. Cooper says over on Facebook. So, Cooper, I will get back to you. Don't worry, my friend. Euro, New Zealand, Euro CAD, weekly and hourly. Sorry, I can't share your Facebook comments. That's why there's only 2 or 3 of you over on there. But I will get to that in a minute. Euro, New Zealand, weekly, Euro, New Zealand CAD. Right, just bear with me, Cooper. I'll get to that. There's some people here before you. Dad San, good evening. Hope you're well, my friend. Staying safe. All the best to you and your family. Ravinda, good evening, sir. Here, a few news about there would be a positive move for crypto. Is this true? If so, how will it help crypto market? I don't know what you mean, Ravinda. We no longer, Forex Asian market, we no longer offer crypto pairs, so I'm not really following. I know Bitcoin is hanging around that key 50,000 level, and that's a big pain for it to get higher, but it doesn't seem to want to move over. JRT, euro dollar, please. So euro dollar, I don't know what time frame JRT, but as I say, this is euro classic. We've had this data out of the US, which was okay for PCE, but really hardly moved, hardly flickered. So euro here on the intraday basis this week is sort of biased higher. We've got over a 17.50. 17.25 was our initial resistance on Monday, but we punched through that. Then it got to this 17.50 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We breached it, or Wednesday late on we breached it. Thursday we held over it. Thursday we've pegged a high of 17.75, and today we got support at 17.50, and the high from yesterday around this 17.75. So that's the 2 levels at 25 pip range. And again, biased higher during the week. So that's where you want to be looking for to be placing your trades, GTR, in between these ranges here. But here as a trend follower, it's been a nightmare because it's just been going sideways. So a break of those ranges, please, for something to go on. And then we got some key levels below that, 1725, 1700 itself. And then obviously 1800 up here comes into play if we break out this range. But euro dollar doing very little. It's a bit of a yawn for trend following traders, JRT, my friend. What's up for gold, says Desire. It's, it got a bid yesterday. I don't know if you were short or something, but it got bid because of all the geopolitical worries. Obviously, the attack in Kabul, any sort of uncertainty like that always gives gold, the yen, the Swiss franc, US treasuries, always gives that a lift. Absolutely. That's it tends to happen when we get these uncertainties. But remember that the attack yesterday, the deadly attack yesterday, was it'd been not anticipated, but we've been worried about it. Obviously, people unfortunately have been a fast loss of life. The Americans, Biden went on telly last night to promise a reaction. But they really just want to get their troops out and get the people out and get as many people out as they can that want to get out. But there's still going to be obviously hundreds of, certainly tens of thousands by the looks of it, that want to leave, that are not going to be able to leave. And then there's these two fractions. We've got Taliban. Obviously, we've got other parts of ISIS that actually took the fight to the ISIS-K that took the suicide bomber to the airport. So how the Taliban can rout them out, because the speed that the Taliban took over all of Afghanistan, a bit of vacuums in certain cities and parts of the country, because they took it over so quickly. So it's them trying to maintain their own internal control and then fight their own internal enemies as well. So anyway. Expected on Euro Swiss, is it heading to test the 108 resistance? A key level at 108 Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss isn't one I follow keenly, shall I say it like that, because it doesn't really move around very much. So I'm a trend following sort of guy. So I like to see stuff moving around. And Euro Swiss is probably one of the most boring pairs. But anyway, hello. Why haven't I got Euro Swiss on there? So, where's my euro like that? I thought I had euro on here, but anyway, let's have a look. Euro Swiss must be down here somewhere. Ramez, I guess you're talking about a higher time frame. Let's find Euro Swiss. No, I haven't got it here on this workstation. Let me find it. I've got a new one open. Let's file. So I'm just quick to open a new one. Euro Swiss is there. Let's put this template on. Same template with let's use the crossing one. So Euro Swiss 108 is a key level. It looks like it's rejected. I mean, currently today it's testing. There's 108 up here. 108.07. That's just a tad over. Let's bring it down. 108. Yeah. Let me have a look on the higher time frames. That's trended higher this week, but obviously it's ticking lower, or has been ticking lower this year. Here we are. This is a daily. This is going back to April, March. So the spring, summer, we've gone lower. We've gone as low there at the beginning of March at 107.20, and then we went lower again. So that's still biased lower for me, really. 107.01. So it's tested 107. Can it get to 108? Well, we've punched to 108, 1.08, I should say, yesterday, and we tested it again today. But end of day basis, that's been quite volatile. It's been trending quite nice, but the trend still really is biased to the downside because we that's moving down. That's a key level. It's 107.20, 107, 1.07. So this period here for this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, this is our support area now. Let's zoom that up a bit. This is our support area now, Ramez. You can't see my ugly mug, can you? Never mind. But this is you can still see my chart, can't you? So you can see this is our support area, these two yellow lines here. We ticked up yesterday. That would have gone long again, but remember last time we went long there, we were taken out quite quickly. That would have been a losing trade, but we've had a nice long winning trade there, haven't we? So certainly a floor forming here. Tentative long here, I would have said yesterday's end of day. We're up again today, so that's still positive. So 108 is obviously your next level. But for me, I'd look at going forward, Ramez, that start of day there, 108.10, and then obviously the next resistance to the upside is there, 108.30. So they're the two levels you'd be wanting to aim for if you have taken that long position from yesterday. The ATR on this pair, as I say, didn't realise it had been trending as much as it is. I should have been perhaps watching it more frequently. It's peaked up. Look, the ATR is all the way up there at .0044. So, you're looking for a whole point move there, perhaps. But looks biased to the upside. Key resistance, that the top we got to there on the 12th and the 13th of August, just a couple of weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago, we were at this 108.30. We come down again, but found a floor and then bounced off. Interestingly, though, guys, the floor it's found here, which it sort of found here at the beginning of August, is lower than the one at the beginning of August. So if this doesn't hold, this break up here again fades, we don't break through this area here, obviously there's perhaps more chance of this going down here. As far as the MACD is concerned, for instance, look at the MACD here. The histogram is still way below zero line. The histogram's picked up, but the signal line here, I don't know if you can see that, the red signal line is still very flat. RSI sits at 52, so it's neutral. So this breakout is still needs a bit more momentum to break it up. So 108 is that key level, Ramez, as you suggest. That's the one to have a look at. Usman, cable. We had a look at cable before, didn't we? If I just bring that, minimize that now. Cable, we said before, 137, 137.50. They're the big 50 range for cable. And then below that, 136.70 is the next line I've got on here, which takes me back here for some reason. On the 1 hour chart, don't know why it's on there. We're on there for a reason. They usually are. So no, actually that was, I don't know what that was. That was a low here. Takes me back to July. That 136.70. So we got lower lows, haven't we? In August, we went all the way down here at 135. So that's daily. cable still biased to the downside. The 20-day moving average is all the way up there at 137.68. But it's had a bit of a pokey week. This was last week or 2 weeks ago. On the 4-hour chart, moved down, testing that 135 level, 136 level. Sorry, then up to 137.15, then down, and then we're back over 137 at the moment on a 4-hour. As far as the 1 hour's trade, we said this earlier. Short yesterday, gone long this morning, still long cable to the upside, Usman, at the moment. But the overall, it's against the trend. Remember, the daily trend still looks pretty weak to me. It needs to break up. But we've had a nice move down, but some cashing in profits. Remember also the other thing on cable, London is closed on Monday, so there'll be lots of positioning getting closed out today for the end of the month potentially, because London's closed Monday. Remember, London, 44% of all forex trades in the world go through London. So when London's closed, liquidity is much, much lower than normal. And that'll be the case on Monday. It's also the end of the month is looming as well. So all those people like to balance things at the end of each calendar month. The accountants amongst us, or whatever, the businessmen amongst us, all that sort of things going on as well. You know, swapping currencies to pay for bills and stuff in different currencies. So very quiet on Monday. Liquidity, volatility relatively lower on Monday. So there we go for cable. Vixie, good morning. Please talk about the dollar Swiss franc, pound Swiss dollar Swiss franc. I haven't looked at the dollar Swiss franc for quite a while, actually. I don't normally look at it every day. I haven't looked at it for a while. So another one that's edging higher. This is the 1 hour time frame on dollar Swiss. Zooming a bit. So we've been down and then up, going back to the middle of August. Zoom out a bit. There we are. So what's going on this week? Well, as with all the dollar cross, we've been sort of drifting lower, then we've drifted higher. So here, dollar drifted down in the early part of the week. On Monday, we got to our low here on Tuesday, and it's recovered since, basically, just like the other major dollar crosses. So our low of 91.15 on Tuesday, or high Wednesday, nice recovery yesterday as yields went up and dollar got a bit back over 93, the dollar index itself. And then it's ran into a bit of a wall. It's ran into a wall when it tried to stretch to 92. We couldn't get to 92. 92 is up here. Let me just put that just off the chart here. There's 92. That's the big next resistance. And then yesterday's closing high on the hourly charts is at 98.86. We've been close to it again today. So again, dollar sort of buys to the upside against the Swiss franc. And again, another one, you've been trading this, would have triggered messy trades there sideways. Nice long trend there. You would have got some pips to the good. Bit of a short trend trade. Didn't last very long. Turned against you. Been stopped out there during that hour there. And currently, dollar Swiss, before Mr. Powell speaks, is currently bid. So the dollar's relatively bid going into Powell's speech, but volatility will naturally occur. So as far as the Swiss franc is concerned, intraday today, zoom up, we've got a resistance there at that 90.9186. Here, this is from yesterday. Our support really is initially there where we've tested already 91.72, which is that 20-hour magenta line, but really the lower the day also could be easily be tested. Obviously, with anything Mr. Powell comes to say at 91.55, it doesn't seem to want to do that. It was a wick, see the big wick rejecting that. So the hourly close has been around 91.62. So we're sort of biased to the upside, if anything, before Powell has something to say. So 91.86 will be your first target, and then 90.91, 99 takes it to 92, obviously, if that actually happens. As far as the daily chart is concerned, very choppy. Again, you see that 92 level, and then above that, if 92 breaks this week or next week, you'd be looking at 92.30 initially from the 12th. Is that the 12th or the 13th? Yeah, these highs. So you want the 13th, 12th. So 2 weeks ago, we got to 92.30. So sort of bias to the upside, but a bit of a mess about, isn't it? Just waiting on this major announcement. If indeed it is a major announcement, if it's not going to be a major announcement, this might the bid the dollar's had in the last couple of days might just all fade again, and so that those downside targets will become more relevant. But wait, see what happens, see how what is said and isn't said quite often with these things, and take it from there, my friends. Let's have a look. So, Pritesh, we looked at gold before, my friend. Ramez, that was very fun. Thank you. I do my best, Ramez. Thank you very much as well for being here. Tell your friends, come back, ask for something else. It's not a problem. Usman again, I think Tan is lacking following through ahead of Powell, which is going to start. So absolutely, it's still an hour or so away, Mr. Powell. Powell's speeches tend to not get leaked, but obviously the insiders, they all have more information than we do. There will be some sort of gossip going on, but from our charts here, there's not a lot. The dollar's biased positive. We can see here on the somewhat on the Swiss franc. We look at the euro. It's not really doing much, is it? Yen, it's over the key 110 level, which is a key level. Again, it's moved up, but obviously there's both of those currencies are bid when geopolitical problems come in. Remember, also we're coming into the weekend. As I said, London's closed on Monday. We've also got obviously this deadline of the 31st of August looming on Tuesday night for the closure of the Kabul airport, the evacuation of citizens of people that are allowed to get out that have got papers and not got papers, and then all the soldiers that got taken in there need to get out as well. The Taliban obviously have stood aside relatively at the moment, but who knows what's going to happen? And that's what markets hate. They hate uncertainty, and it's still a very, very uncertain and volatile situation. Anything like what happened again yesterday over the weekend, again, do people want risk on the tail because of that sort of thing? They may take it off. They may, there might be some speculators looking to go long on gold, expecting the whole, unfortunately, anticipating another attack or something. So, anyway, that's what happens. But lots of sideways action into Powell's speech. Nasdaq, says Timothy. The markets have been relatively well bid this week. We've had all-time highs on the Nasdaq earlier in the week, and we just cooled a wee bit yesterday. Obviously, that they were quite unnerved because of the attack in particular. There was some weak, surprisingly weak earnings yesterday. We had Dell, Hewlett, HP. It's not the Hewlett Packard that make the hardware. Not the same company anymore. They're divided up. HPQ, and who's the other? Yes, Peloton. Peloton with weak earnings. Peloton, the people that sell you those very clever electronic bikes and all the rest of it, they cut the price of those bicycles very significantly. They were very, very expensive when they first came out, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. But I've seen sort of recruiters offering them as incentives to get staff in many parts of the city, in particular in New York and London, as an enticement or a gift to get staff. But anyway, their outlook was quite weak. They cut the price of the bikes yesterday. So those three companies, not great earnings yesterday. So anyway, Nasdaq remains robust and well bid. We've slipped a bin yesterday. This is the intraday chart, but if you look at the daily chart, it's just all the dips are getting bought, my friends. So lots of talk of a sell-off in September and October. September and October are notoriously volatile. But remember, from the Nasdaq's point of view, September also heralds the new announcements from the world's biggest company. Apple announced their big fourth quarter product launches. Apple are never the first with products, but they get them good. They get them right. They tie people in. They're very much into services now. So September can be quite good for the world's biggest company. So if it's good for the world's biggest company, others can follow along. I say good, it can be quite volatile. It gets quite excitable, the Apple price, before these announcements come in September. As you can see here, trending really, really strongly here on the daily time frame, consolidating here, broke the 15,000, obviously consolidated at 15,000. Now we've legged higher this week. So is this the last leg higher? Is this the last breath of this multi-year bull run. Who knows? It's far too early to tell. This is the weekly chart on the Nasdaq. That just keeps going up, doesn't it? There's your big safety net on the Nasdaq for me. This weekly 21 EMA all the way down there at 14,386, and that's just bid. That's a trend trader's dream. That's just going up. Big psychological level was 15,000. It's breached that, and look at this. It's been over it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. It's been playing with it now through the summertime. Is this last breath? Who knows? They were saying that there. 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 There was one of the big bears on Wall Street, one of the Citibank analyst, Lewinsky, was talking about a 10% shakeout in September. He's been talking about a shakeout since June. So his clients have, been trying to go short in June, from June. Hasn't happened, has it? But anyway, it's bid. As far as today's concerned, the 4 hours still long from. That was last week, wasn't it? So it's been long all week. We got all-time highs earlier in the week up here, and we to consolidate there. So we'll consolidate at high, Timothy, which is always a positive. I don't know what position you are, but it's drifted lower Wednesday, Thursday, and today a bit. But 15,330 still looks relatively strong to me. The Nasdaq. That was Timothy. Who's next? Monday, about the Aussie. Okay, Aussie dollar. Cooper, my friend, haven't forgotten about you. I'll come to the Euro, New Zealand, and Euro CAD in a minute. Let me just check if there's any more comments on over on our Facebook panel. No, it doesn't look like it. Cooper says, Rams did the things I wanted to see. Also, I was bugging you in June about Euro Swiss. You said the same thing to me. It's not a trending pair. It's Cooper. I'm a trend following sort of trade. That's what these sort of analysts as well. That's what these moving averages show you, trends. When things like this are going sideways, it's not. But I'll get to your pairs, Cooper, shortly. Yeah, you just comment there. So good stuff. So let me just. What am I doing? I've got multiple screens. I can see myself all over the place. It's not a pretty sight, and I can see myself on Facebook and YouTube, and obviously the camera's over there, so I should be. And my mouse has decided not to move now. What's going on, Mr. Mouse? There we go. I need to get the mouse off there and over there and see what I'm doing. Right. So what are we talking about? We're talking about Euro Oz for Monday. Euro Oz. Let's have a look. Euro Oz, Aussie dollar. Ignore me, Timothy. Monday. Sorry. Where are we? Right. So again, same story. We talked about the dollar all week. So here, back on Monday, dollar was weak. Dollars appreciated against the Australian dollar. 2 days, Monday, Tuesday, strong into Wednesday. Our height here, our top here Wednesday. Was a 72.80, so 72.80 is the high of the week, and we've held the Wednesday low on Thursday as well, but then we breached it this morning, but come back up. So 72.40 is our support today, then 72.47, but 72.80 is the high. And again, another one that was long, short didn't work out. Long worked out quite nicely. Short was a bit iffy. It stopped us out here, then went short again. That one's worked out quite nicely. Closed that one out this morning, and then that again, another one that's gone long here. So just like many of the other dollar pairs we were talking about before, dollars sort of bid into Powell's speech later on today. The PCE data, as we said earlier, was nothing to really write home about, although it was in line with expectation. When I say it's nothing to write home about, it was in line with expectations. So it's just remember, trading is very much about it's opinion, not is opinions, but it's really it's buyers and sellers. So somebody that's short a pair is expecting to go down. Somebody that's long a pair is expecting to go up, and that battle is always continuing. So we'll see where it goes. Remember, yesterday we had this movement because of the hawks being to the fore. Yesterday we had Bullard, George, Kaplan all spinning hawkish tilts about September, October for tapering. Bostic this morning, a centrist, but he talked fairly negative. Today on the cards, we got Bostic, again, is that today? Yeah, Bostic's on, Harker's on, Mester on. Mester's a big hawk as well. She's very, wanting to get things going, get the rates normalised as quickly as possible. And then George is also, Esther George was on yesterday, another key hawk. So and then Bullard again is on this afternoon. He's speaking to Fox News. I can't share this. CNBC was yesterday. That was yesterday, wasn't it? Are they on again today? Probably on today. And then Clareda is the last one up. Richard Clareda, responsible for policy, vice chair of the Fed. Centrist, more the dovish side as well. So the leaders, I was saying before, Powell sits on the dovish side of things. Clareda sits on the dovish side, centrist sort of side. But the Hawks have had all the press yesterday, and I think the same again today. Miss Mester's on at the moment, I would guess, at 4 o'clock. Yeah. Is that on? Yeah, just. Sorry, I'm just running through my newsfeed here. We're basically there on substantial further progress. We've certainly made substantial further progress. The trick is now community policy. Yeah, so again, Mester's comments have lifted the dollar. So here, Aussie down on comments from Miss Mester ahead of the key boss speaking, Mr. Powell speaking at the top of the hour now, isn't it? Yeah, we'll just do it. So in 55 minutes, Mr. Powell will be on the ramp there. Euro yen. What's your thoughts? Says Sigu. Sigu, is that how you pronounce that? Sigop? Swap. Euro yen. Another one. Bid all week, really, isn't it? Euro yen. So Euro's had some support. Having a big move down. So that was long sideways here Tuesday, long Wednesday. A bit choppy up and down. Thursday down into Thursday into Friday, and then again another one that's gone long here on this 1 hour chart this morning. So that's gone long. Really fairly big candle for Euro yen there at 10 o'clock this morning, and it's still drifting up, but it's just given up the ghost by looks of things in the last hour or so. So you might have, depending how you're trading this, if you've moved. Yeah, you probably would have. You've probably been stopped out on that. I think. Let's have a look. What would have happened? Zoom in, you feel. There we are. So that would have triggered you long. Your stop loss would have been down. If you'd been trailing your stop loss up, that would have taken you down, and that would move down. I might have moved it to about there. Yeah, I'd probably been spiked out on that this hour, the last hour on that one. So that would have been a losing trade. And yeah, if indeed you'd taken that ahead of such a major announcement, but let's see. So that would have been a losing trade on this strategy here. MACD, see how the single line's dipped and then gone back up. So it's still sort of biased to the upside here on a 1 hour time frame. What's see the 4 hour still positive, and the dailies. I see. Yeah, so the daily's been in a big downtrend. So it closed really the downtrend here on the 23rd and went long. Yeah, so a tentative long earlier in the week there on the 25th. So on Wednesday, I haven't seen the daily time, it's sort of gone long. So the daily's turned around, but it really needs to get back over this level from this previous chart here, 129.75. So the end of day, Guap really wants to get over 129.75 on my charts here. Positive day on Wednesday. Just close this short trade. But again, I don't know if you've been trading that, but that's been going short quite nicely. The highs have been getting low, as you can see here. And the lows, where's my little product? There we are. So the lows got lower as we trended lower through June, July, August, and then finally here you see the first day over our 20-day moving average here on the 25th of August, first time since the 16th of June, and that's the sort of trend you want to be running, guys. So yeah, So tentative long on Wednesday on an end of day basis. Like to see it over 129.75 and then 130 because that's that cluster here, 130. And your support here, your initial stop loss down here somewhere from earlier in the week. So that's biased high long on the daily. The 4 hour is still that positive, and that 1 hour. So we'd be looking, so that's with the trend now. That trade we took this morning would have been with the trend. The short trade you would have taken yesterday would have been very much against the trend. So would you have taken that? Well, it'd be questionable because there's your long trend with the 4 hour earlier in the week on the 25th when it finally triggered off. So the end of day here on the 25th was the major move, and we've been long there in that first in the hours of the day there for that one. So euro yen, there we go. Again, I don't know what time frame you trade it, Guap, but let me know. Stick it in there, and we'll have a look at it in a bit more detail if your actual time frame is the one that you want to use. Timothy. No problem. That's what we're here for. We're here to do a great job. If Powell announces a tapering today, how will it affect NASDAQ? Jesse, if he announces tapering today, one, it's very, very unlikely. The markets aren't expecting it, so it will be a big shock. So we'll get an overreaction. We always get an overreaction. Remember, guys, the one thing above all else markets hate is surprises, is uncertainty, sudden announcements. That's why there was so much volatility when Donald Trump was president, because he would send out these tweets at all hours of the day and just create mayhem. It was great for volatility. It was great for intraday traders, but it was a nightmare for anybody trying to get some sort of strategy together or some sort of tactical or long-term approach to things. But anyway, if as your question there says, what if he announces territory, how will it affect Nasdaq? It should weaken the Nasdaq, should weaken equity markets simply because a stronger dollar means it's more difficult for American companies to make profits in dollars. However, having said that, they're roaring, or they've roared out of the pandemic. The second quarter earnings were absolutely stellar. I think it was something like 96% beat or something. It was a huge number. Obviously, but markets, that's all priced in now because it's happened. What markets are always doing, they're looking a year, 18 months in advance. So have we reached peak earnings season? Probably. The Q2 earnings are normally the strongest of the year. So, third quarter earnings, we've had this spike up in virus infections again. As I said earlier, we got 100,000 people in hospital in the United States at an 8-month high, as announced yesterday. So again, that's going to perhaps have a drag on third quarter and possibly fourth quarter earnings. There's all these stories about supply chain problems, particularly in the UK, particularly because of Brexit. Nobody seems to be saying that anymore. Cut off your, do a bad deal with your nearest and dearest, and you're bound to have issues, and that's exactly what's happened in the United Kingdom. Supply shortages of staff, 100,000 lorry drivers missing out of the UK economy. So things can't get the shops, and that is starting to bite there as well. But that's a particular issue with Brexit with regard to the UK. But it's a wider issue in job markets around the world as well. But but Nasdaq, as we saw before, you don't panic. It's the shorts. If we go up to this end of day, you can see the short. This is the end of day anyway. You see every time we've gone under the 21-day moving average has been bought. Touched it, didn't go under it. Touched it, was only under it for 2 days. It's gone up again. It's not saying it's gonna run out of steam eventually, but if we go further back to the weekly time frame, look, it's bought it, it's up. You could argue, which is what the guy from Citibank was saying yesterday, it's got overextended. All the good news is in now. All those good earning numbers of Q2 are already in. They're priced in. We're over this big psychological 15,000. So, it's even a 10% shakeout from 15,000. What's 10% of 15,000, guys? It's 150 pip, 150 points, isn't it? So, 1350 is still a 10% fall. It's still quite a strong support, and the 21-week moving average is all the way down at 14,300. So lots of big players will be looking to buy if we do run out there, not panicking when it first rolls over. But a stronger dollar should mean a weaker Nasdaq, Jesse, my friend. So there we go. Where am I up to? Jesse Rams says dollar yen trading rather sideways with a rising pennant. What are your thoughts? Absolutely, yes. That's and again, I know what time frame you're talking about, but on the rising pennant. But yeah, I mean, it's bound to be sideways action. So there could be some rumours of what dollars bid up here, 110. So, but it's been biased. Go to the daily time frame, Rams. Yeah, it's just been not particularly exciting, has it? During the summer, this is June, July, August. So we've been supported by 109. We've been capped really at 111. It's 200 pip range. It's not massive, but it hasn't even got that high, has it? For July and August, we've been capped there at 110.50. Really, that's 110.60. We bring that down to 50 halfway. It's around there, isn't it? So really, the range for July and August has been that 100 pip, that 109, and even that's a bit excessive, isn't that low? You put stop. It's been a bit higher there, hasn't it? 109.50. So really, it's been in a really quite a tight 100 pip range for most of August. 150 pip range takes us all through the summer, and really that 200 pip range takes us all through the summer. So the main 3-4 months of this summer taking us all the way back to May there. 109 support, 111 top, and it's another one for, as you say, Rams. One for oscillated traders, not for trend following traders like myself, to be honest. But anyway, that's drifted lower. Looks like it's ticking up now in the last couple of days, but who knows? 110 maybe, but it's a weak entry earlier in the week there. You need a bit more what's going on. Look, the MACD here. Can you see that? This is the daily on the yen. You see the MACD just running out of steam for the last half of August. No, not doing anything, hanging around zero. Signal line not a bit directionless. ATRs about 55 pips on the day. So yeah, you're right. Bit sideways action, as you say. Guap. 4 hours says Guap. Well, that was what you're at. Euro yen. Let's go have a look at Euro yen 4 hours. That's the one you're trading. Euro yen 4 hour. I guess you said, is that what you said you were long? Yeah, there you go. You're long. Winning trade from yesterday. Very good. Yeah, that's that. As we saw before, it triggered on the 25th of daily, but 4 hours. Yeah, nicely moving higher still. It's the 20 period EMA here for the 4 hour trader went long in the beginning of the week, in fact, and it's kept you the long side of that trade. So up, consolidate, up, consolidate. Obviously, as I say, it will come around to the end of the month. And it's the end of the week today. It's the final week, full trading week of the month, so there might be some tailing off of that. But yeah, that's looking okay. It looks like it may have run out of steam a wee bit. 129.75 was the high. Wasn't even going to get there on an end of candle basis for 4 hour traders. 129.55 is your top. And it doesn't seem to want to do that, so that's our next target to the upside. 129.50. Top is that the last question that's come in? Yeah, that's the last question. Right, Cooper, sorry, I'll get to your Euro Kiwi and Euro CAD. Let's do that now. And if my Euro charts for some reason are not set up properly, I've got them on here when I last looked. That's Euro Swiss, which we just looked at. Is it Euro Swiss? No, it's Euro CAD. Euro Swiss. Oh, I looked at Euro Swiss. So why haven't my Euro profiles been kept? It hasn't got Euro on there, has it? Just got these funny ones, doesn't it? These default ones. That should be all my Euro charts, but it's not. It's just a default setting on MT5. Anyway, it's messed me about. So let's go back to not EM currencies. Commodities, British pound. Well, the others are working. So Euro Kiwi. I know what it might be. It might be on my Kiwi charts, right? Just bear with me a second. Oh, the other Kiwi. Have I got the Euro in here? Euro Kiwi. Oh, haven't. Let's do it now. Sorry, excuse me. Just bear with me a second. Let's just. Yeah, cross it. So it goes. So Euro, Kiwi, end of day. I think Cooper, isn't it? So you see my comments, Cooper. I'm sure you can, my friend. Michael, we'll come to Euro Rand in a minute. No problem. But lots of sideways action. Nightmare for trend following trades. Let me just take off all those things that don't make sense. So, Cooper, I hope you know why I can't get excited about Euro New Zealand. New Zealand. Oh no, it's Euro Swiss. New Zealand not doing very much either. But what can we make of this chaos here? Well, 170.50 is where was a resistance, and we've bashed into it all of the summer, and we've sort of broke through it a couple of days ago, but then come back down. And then the support for me really is around about there, and that sits at 168 itself. So 168 has been a support-ish area. Below that, the low of August takes us back to the low of May as well. So the extended summer season has a low of 166.60, all the sixes, 166.60. Big rally and then a big sell-off. So Euro spiked up, and then the Kiwis come back down. That was a weakness in the Kiwi as they tightened up. They went into lockdown for just one case. Got a lot of ridicule. But the 68 cases now in New Zealand, they've dealt with it in the first wave and second wave very, very effectively. So I'm sure they do with a bit of the ridicule. But Kiwi may come back, and that was also because it was expected that the RBNZ would increase cut tapering announcement in their August meeting, and that didn't happen. That's why I had that huge move down in the Kiwi, and then the turnaround in this week as it's come back into favour. So to the upside, we got resistance at 170.50, but that looks a little bit extending now. And the support through August and July is here at 168.00. So that's my support, really, or the support I can see there is at this level. And then we're just waiting again. So we've, if we just, where we're going to go, Henry, this is a good example of a rapid Fibonacci level. I'm not saying it's a proper Fibonacci because it's been to do with news that's moved it around, but we had this big old move up, and then we rejected the move down. So technically, there was some technical support at that 61.8 retrace of this last leg up. Okay, and that sits at 168.49 or 168.50. So there are two support areas. That one I eyeballed at 168 itself, that line I put in initially, takes us through here, and that 168.50 there. So there are your two support levels. Going higher, 170.50, again, the line we just put in when we eyeballed it initially, and then there's some levels here in it just below there, 170.30. So 170.30, 170.50 to the upside from where we are now. But at the moment, we've just gone sideways, haven't shook out. So that support looks like it may have held. The 50 Fibonacci of the shakeout this week sits there at the 20-day moving average, 169. So there you go, another round number coming into play, 169 there. And we're just above that at the moment. So it's ticking higher, but we need to break. These need to cross and give me some sort of direction. But there's a horrible move up and then down, but we're back in this wider channel. So really consolidating, and look at the MACD down here as well. See how it's been moving down, went down, and up. RSI sits at 51, completely neutral. So no real bias either way, Cooper, my friend, on that one. Euro New Zealand. As far as Euro's CAD's concerned, let's have a look. Let's go back to There wasn't anything on euros. I don't think there's anything on. I haven't got any CAD net defaults now. This may be a little bit similar. Obviously, CAD's been supported by the big rally we've had in the oil price, or the volatility we had in the oil price. Obviously, added the volatility of the Canadian dollar. We've also got the 20th of September, where with elections looming in Canada as well. That'll hang on the dollar potentially. Any uncertainty. Prime Minister Trudeau has called that to try and cement or improve his majority. So that could, that could go wrong as well. Obviously, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a new chart. Euro. What are we looking for? Euro CAD. Euro CAD. There he is. I'll see why. Perhaps that's this is gapping around. Template. So, Cooper, you still there, my friend? Over on Facebook. Do you want to join us on YouTube? I can see you there. Facebook. Cooper says no problem. Such a pleasant young man or old man. I don't know. I've never met Cooper, so he says. So it's weekly and hourly charts. So Euro CAD weekly and hourly. So let's just have a look. Let's start your high time frame, which is the weekly. Let it fill in. So let me take all these lines off as well. Again, I guess you're big week last week. I guess you were along that one. So that's the weekly. Again, I'm one of the world's worst draws of trend lines, but that's your weekly trend line, moving up through 149, and a huge week last week for Euro CAD. So that's biased now to the upside, having tested this 20 EMA from this big move down all of 2021. So we've been weekly traders. Cooper, you've been short Euro CAD all year. First sign of a move up was here at the beginning of July, and then it's moved up and we tested the 21, but it wasn't until last week we're in a big blowout move up, and that went long there at 149.95. So big move up last week. As far as the hour, so that's biased to the upside. The daily, let's do the time frames we go down. You see the daily capturing this bottom here in July, moving up. So daily sort of biased to the upside as well, although a bit flat, but spiky yesterday again. But that's looking like that might be trying to move down. So a bit of a wedge forming there. So that's your daily areas. And this wedge going back from April, and there's obviously there's the vertical support through this area here, this congestion here in May and June. The low we got to at March in the spring. Then there's extended congestion zones there. It became support here, beginning of July. It was breached briefly here in August, and so that's provided our support. That's your support 147.35. There's your trend line from the weekly and the daily now, and there's your daily. The blue top line is that daily down trend line. So moving up. As far as your 1 hour time frame is concerned, all those charts were way off there. So we've drifted lower all week. Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday found a floor. Thursday we moved up, and intraday really you would have gone long. That's a very weak one, having moved down, so you'd have gone long there, or certainly closed out your short there here on the 25th, gone long on the at 11 o'clock, and then it's ran up and it's taken you out, and you've gone long again here yesterday. Before that wasn't it? Just before that, taking you out again. You've gone closed out, didn't go short, and then your final. So that was long, closed out here, bit flat. You probably made a few pips on that, but then gone long there yesterday at 1800 hours, and you're still no, you're not. You would have come out here. It's 20s provided support there, so that was your entry. that was your exit. Gone short. Yeah, it did actually. That hour did close, and so you've gone short there, but gone turn around. So that's an immediate turnaround. That's gone short there against the trend if you take it because it's closed under the 20-hour as that one has as well. So there's two losing short positions there this morning, and then just now, or the last hour or so, that's gone long again here at 2 o'clock. And today it doesn't want to break over our height of the day there, 149.20, or a bit higher than that, in fact. Just put that on 149.20, just up there. Sorry, I've got too many screens and only one mouse here. So there's the 149.20 high of the day, but that again when the last trade was long. The two short trades were didn't work out, but very small losses. So but the long trades are more than compensated for that. Certainly yesterday's been quite nice. So that's tilted to the upside. And I say as you're that's that daily. We've got the daily again. That blue line at the top there that we can see here on today's chart. That's that daily downtrend or the top of the channel from this movement down here. So that might be a resistance to get to. If the one, that might prove resistance if we get to that today. Didn't prove support. Been over it, but it's been under it. So that might prove resistance either later today, or next week, sometime for Euro. What are we looking at? Euro CAD. So let's just recap for Cooper. So weekly, big strong week last week, moved higher, and we supported that so far this week. As far as that's the weekly, so the weekly's positive. So you'll be looking to take long trades here. If that's how you're trading it on the 1 hour time frame. Well, not it's a long way away, but that's how you want to trade it. Okay. Cube got a winging trade. Yes, that was the 4 hour. You said that before, didn't we, Michael? The Rand. I had a look at the Rand yesterday for the first time in a while. We've 15 is key. So Rand sits here under my EM currencies. Any particular time frame, Michael? I'll answer your question in a minute, okay? So dollar Rand. So let's have a look. So been a good August for the dollar here against the emerging market currencies, the Rand in particular. All sorts of things going on. Earlier in the week, unfortunately, the world's highest unemployment rate is now registered in South Africa. The 81 countries that high income and middle income countries that and some low income countries that Bloomberg monitor, 32, I think it was 34.2% unemployment rate in South Africa. So my heart goes out for you guys, but stay strong as well as you can. I understand the vaccination rate, overall is very, very low. It's under 5%. It seems to have ticked up in the last few weeks or so. So hopefully that's starting to move forward there as well. But as far as dollar Rand trend is concerned, that's been I would say daily has been long from these lows down here at 13.38 at the beginning of June. It's just been rallying. So the end of day went long here on the 16th of June, got out there, got long again, got out, looked like it was going to go short, didn't happen. Here in August, it's been long for all of August. We've rallied to 1539.00, didn't we? Intraday, but rejected. Now we're moving back down. So on an end of day basis, support for dollar Rand sits at 1483.70. 1483.70 is the support at that 21 EMA. Oops, let me move that down there. Come on, you bugger. There we go. So 1483. It's gone low. Let's zoom it on a bit. Numbers are so big here. 1483.35. Let's call it 1483.85 as our support. And it looks like we may be running into that, but that where we are now, that support was the resistance up here, that last leg of the move up. So again, another little Fibonacci on that last leg. Looks like it's in keeping. So, that sits around about the 50 Fibonacci level, and then below that would be the 61 there, which sits at 1465, or a bit higher than that. 1465.93, so call it 1466. The next support, if this one breaks, if indeed that one breaks, if this doesn't happen, don't move down, we got move to the test to the upside, that previous high there at 15.2935 to the upside, Michael, for the dollar rand. But as you can see, the dollar's been weak for 1, 2, 3, 4 into our 5th consecutive day down, having quite a strong rally up. So like to see this 1483.35 area, this 21 hold, if it's going to keep moving up. If not, it looks like it may have rejected 15, the big round number 15, and we may be moving down. But remember, this is the daily time frame, and that sits there at 1483.35 or 670, or it was when I got in closer in, and then 1465 or 14660 is that next big support here on the daily. If this rally during the summer is going to continue to the upside. Okay, I'm going to be tired now, guys. I've been here an hour or so. Gloop asks, how do I read pips on an ATR for the JP pairs? It's different. Yeah, remember the yen only typically quotes to 3 decimal points rather than 5 decimal points on most other pairs. But let's just get a yen pair up. Go back to the default. I haven't got a yen pairs here, right? Default. There we go. Any more comments on Facebook, friends? Or have you all disappeared? Ricky says, Cooper, there's our euro. Okay. So, Gups asked about ATR. Right, so let's have a look at the dollar yen. So, or yen pairs, as you quite rightly said. Things are different. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that blue? You can't see it because I'm in the way. Let me insert another indicator. If I insert oscillator 680, doesn't it? If I insert this and I make it so you can see it, it's up below. So if I just let's just get rid of the mark of D. Hopefully you can see the ATR. It's behind my head, obviously. So that's the ATR. So here, can you see that up there? I don't know if you can actually. It says ATR for the 14 is 0.48. So it's the same as any others. That's all. It's just that the numbers relate to the pips. So it's 0.496 the ATR here on the 1 hour time frame. That's a daily. Obviously, just using it, you can't see it because it's behind my head. How do I can't make it any bigger, can I? No, I can't make it at the top. But that's yeah. So you read it the same. So for instance, if we can you see it? You can't. You can actually. No, you can't because I'm in the way. How am I going to do this? I can't get rid of it. Get rid of me. You probably can't hear me. But anyway, let's just let's use an example the way you can see. Okay, so here when it went, can you see that one? Yeah. So when it went short here, for instance, this big candle here. So that had been trending up, and then it went short here. It didn't work out this one, but what you would be looking for on this day, huge candle down. So on this day, the end of this day, that was going to go. You obviously didn't know that any of this was going to happen, but on this day, we've gone short there. So the ATR that day is there. Can you see that? So that's the candle closing of the day. That's the indicator we're using, and the ATR on that day on close was here at .562. So if, for instance, you'd gone short at that close of that day, which was 109.68, that's the numbers you want to be looking at, 109.68 over here. So .562, you take that off the 62.8. You'd be looking for at least times 2 of that. So 2 times that is about 1. So .56 times 2 is 1.02, isn't it? So that's what you'd be looking for off 109.68. So you'd be looking for 108.40. So your target would have been down here somewhere, 108.40, wherever it is. We haven't actually got to that, have we? 108. Down 108. So the target's still down here, wouldn't have happened. Is that right? Got my maths right. 106. 108. Yeah, it would have been down here at 106 something. So 2 times the 8 hour would have been down here. But obviously, that was the big down day. Your stop loss would initially really, 1, 2, 3, really up here at that 111 area. So you'd probably still. So that gone down against you. Then it's gone down. Looked like it was going, but you might have pulled your stop loss down to here now. Hasn't happened, has it? You pulled your stop loss down to here now. It's got quite close to it, didn't it? And it's gone against you again. So it's just one of those classic examples of a big entry candle on a trending situation, but because it's oscillated and gone sideways, you're still in that trade. You've been in it for ages if you've held it, but it just hasn't got there. You probably got bored with it and closed it out because it's not happening. Because it's what it is doing is what we talked about before with the dollar yen. It's really sort of oscillating between those levels. So you'd be looking to sell it up here, buy it down here, sell it up there, buy it down here again, and you sort of bias to the upside at the moment, closing it when we get to this 110.50 level potentially. It's exactly the same as using any other asset. It's just the numbers are different. That's all. So, for instance, if we use dollar CAD, where's the ATR? ATR is this one here. And minimize it easily. So again, you can't really see that very well, kind of that blue line. It's a bit brighter. Okay. So here you can see, again, that one, when that went short, this is one that did work out up here. So for this one, exactly the same strategy there. Closed under the 5 and the 9 crossed here. This is a hourly basis up here, whenever it was, the 20th. This one would have been, the ATR would have been that. So it's .00285. So it's obviously up there, 128.75. So you could have, 2 times that takes you down here somewhere. You'd have been in the money. Or the other way to trade this when the trends are starting to run like this is to stay in it until the candle closes back over the yellow line, the middle moving average that you're using, and you would have been still short that trend all the way down here, all that day, 23rd, all of Monday, all of Tuesday, and got out here on Wednesday down here. So you've got all of those pips there on dollar CAD. Very, very strong trend. And then it hasn't worked out, hasn't it, a bit? So we've gone up and then down, up and down. It hasn't worked out. And then we got a nice winning trade here on Thursday, this trend following one. So, the ATR is an absolute indicator, which I like. It doesn't suggest either long or short, but it is what it is. It's, gives you an exact number to play with based on what the market's done before. I really like the ATR. Hope that's answered your question. Cooper, hello. Welcome to YouTube. Hope you're well, my friend. Gold falling. Why, says Vicky? I don't know, Vicky. Bullish dollar because of Mester's comments, I would guess. as she said earlier, she's known as a hawk. Here, I'm seeing a comment here running through. She's talking about, sorry, no hawk. She's known dove. No, there's no rush to taper. I expect tapering to start sometime this year. So relatively dovish. Relatively hawkish from something like Mester today. Baseline outlooks that prices still fall back further, but I think that's up in the air. If we complete taper by the middle of next year, they'll have time to assess the potential of timing of a hike. So, yeah, relatively hawkish comments there. So that's given the dollar a lift, which is what were you talking about? You were talking about why is gold side big move down? Well, gold can move quite aggressively on Fridays as well, Vicky. So beware of that as well. But that was looking like it was going up. It suddenly reversed very aggressively. But remember, these are the levels we were talking about earlier, weren't we, when we started the webinar? This 75, 17. Well, that lines out 1788. But yeah, that's been a big shakeout. Perhaps expectation. It's only 10 minutes before Powell. Perhaps expectation that Powell is going to be a bit more hawkish as well. Certainly, Mester's comments were in that area as well. I'll tell you what, I will hang. I was going to not run this till 5 o'clock, but it's only 10 minutes to go now before the man himself gets up to the microphone. So we see. I'm looking to fall from a rebound of 117.40 region on which time frame? Rams, is that a question? I don't understand what you're saying there. Euro looking to fall 117.40. Well, it's fallen out of today's range, hasn't it? It's broken 17.50. Dollar's got a bid clearly on expectation. Again, as I said before, the insiders, there might be some gossip already. My water's gone. Might be some gossip that what Powell is going to say. It appears to be on the Mester's comments that's moved it. So Mester again sort of talking about a taper later in the year, so she's not as hawkish as the others, but she's looking at that November December window. Remember the ones yesterday, Bullard and Kaplan and Nestor George in particular were talking about let's go October or even September, and even Bostic, the centrist, was really suggesting if the jobs were okay, you could see October, but that a month slip-ish bit. But that's what causes this sort of volatility. And as we can see here, perhaps the anticipate. See what's happened here as we're literally coming to the top of the hour. 10 minutes to go. Big let's put the euro on. A big move down, and it's all been wiped out again. So we're back over 17.50 at the moment. Euro up, a weaker dollar now. So again, it's all about interpretation of comments, and that's the sort of volatility that makes it a bit wild if you're trying to trade trends. But certainly here on the 15-minute chart, it's been down, it's been up, now it's gone down quite nice. Thanks very much. And it's suddenly reversed very aggressively, and we're back over 17.50. So 17.50 still remains our support today. As you can see here on that 15-minute, although it's over sunk all the way down here, there's 15 pips available. 17.50 becomes key. But still buys to the upside here on the 4-hour chart. That's our, that 20 period there at 17.50 is our support on the 4-hour. The 1 hour, you see the horizontal line there, and that 1 hour at 17.50 remains, and again just chopping about. So quite a lot of movement, and it's different. It's how the collective market interprets what Jay Powell says or doesn't say. With how many times did he mention the word taper, if at all? Will he mention a month? He probably won't. No, but that's all coming up literally now. So again, it could be the market makers just testing the water, see what's going on, see who's still in the market, see who's shaking out. They might want some buys, they might want some sells, so they're testing lower, testing higher. That's what market makers do. That's what they're paid to do. They're paid to create a market and move the thing around. Here's a good example: the 5-minute chart. Again, but if you're if you're trading on a 5-minute trade, that's you've been short, and then it's out. Thanks very much. But huge wang back up. So all that down has been lost it all because it's gone. You were still with it. You were trading it low. It turned around. You might have been a bit more aggressive and you used this first moving average. Who knows? I don't know how you trade on a 5-minute. But then huge move back out and we're back to where we were. Thanks very much. But that's the nature of markets. It's Friday. It's Friday afternoon. Remember, as I said before, London's closed on Monday, so there will be some balancing up of positions. That's what could be going on as well. But it's all about anticipation of what Jay Powell's going to say or not going to say. Just put that back to the 1 hour, so everything looks the same when you're comparing it here. So you can see we've got the hour chart. You look at these charts. It's not a great deal of moving around going on, is there? So I can see it. Appreciate your help. That's not a problem. Michael says weekly. So Michael was, what was Michael asking? He was out this with right, the RAND. Let's go back to the RAND then. If you're a end of week trader before the news breaks, and then we'll have a quick 5 minutes when because the speech will get released as a speech, and then he'll actually present it. So I think that's what's happening. I have to double check. I'm saying that. Let me double check that. Let me have a look at this for Michael and the RAND on the weekly basis. So where were we? This is daily. So daily, we've had this rally for August from down here at 1420 to 1540. So weekly, let's take it up a bit high. So yeah, strong week last week. We'd been drifting down. Since basically spring 2020, haven't we? Through the pandemic. So dollar weakened rand, and we found our floor here into the summer June, and now we've turned around. So the weekly trade went long with this particular strategy. The short was certainly closed out, and it reversed the same week here in the middle of July, and it remains bid to the upside. So dollar bid against the rand from the middle of July. Not obviously disturbances, issues with the economy in South Africa, and we need to get it's still bid, but really 15, 20 needs to get be taken out to the upside if this is going to continue to move up. But a strong week last week as well. Reverse that this week, but it's an engulfed candle, so that's still relatively strong. Obviously, the day's just got a few hours left to go, so that's still looking relatively well bid. And for me, the weekly support is down here now at what was that? 1456.60. 1456.60 is where the 20-week moving average sits. So that's still bid, and sit there, hold your guns. So 15 and 15, this 1540 area takes us back to March, is where we want to get over, and then it's perhaps starting to trend back up. 19 looks a long way away at the moment, but 15 is your first line in the San Michael, and then 1540, and then if we break out of that this range here, this, let's zoom this. If I got back to, let me go back to the daily. This area here, this 1540 level. Over here, this 1540 level, that's, we can I16, you see the levels here intraday, not so clear on the weekly. So that's 1550, and then 16 comes into play, takes us all the way back to last year as well. So buy to the upside, Michael, on the RAND. Where can we watch the speech? Says Barney. If you got access to Bloomberg TV or over the internet, CNBC. I think even somebody might be sharing it here on Forex Live. I don't know if they are. Forex Live's quite a good site. The dollar won't sit still ahead of comment there. There we go. Watch Powell here. If you go to I can't share this. If you go to forexlive.com, Forex Live, FOREX. live.com. Their bulletin board has it. Control see, I don't know if I can share. Can I share that with you? Type a message. There we are. Oh, I don't know if that's. I've got to restream. I was like, oh, can everybody see that? Can everybody see that? I'm not sure. Can everybody see that? Forex Live, somebody's asking about. Michael, no problem. That's what I'm here for. Barry, can you see that? Let me know. It'll be on lots of the financial websites. I haven't been able to share. I can't write on this screen, unfortunately. There I can. There we go. That's the site, Forex Live. They're a good bunch of guys. You'll be able to watch it there. But lots of sites. You could go to the Fed site itself. It'll be on there as well. Yeah, he should be. Let's see if he's actually on yet. I don't think he is. No, still 5 minutes to go. So that's the macro policy and an uneven economy is the title. 4 minutes to go. Yeah, very as they've written there on Forex Live, very heavily embargoed. As I said earlier, they're very unlikely to leak anything. They will be released right on the 1 hour, but some of the insiders may have had some sort of insider feel what's going on. He was speaking with Fed President Esther George, we said before. No question and answers. It's just a speech, okay? And Esther George is also there as well. Remember, Esther George had a comment yesterday, fairly hawkish character on the Fed as well. So see how that comes out in the next minute. Millionaire, hello, my friend. I'm really running out of steam, guys. I've been here since 20 past 3, so I'm going to go and watch Mr. Powell myself as well. I'm really tired now. I hope you don't mind. I was going to try and hang on, but let's all go and watch Mr. Powell himself. So that's the news. Also see what's going on in the cricket as well. England were having a good thrash in the cricket earlier. Ravinder, thank you for your insight. Happy weekend. Yeah, happy weekend, everybody. Stay safe. Let's all go and let's listen to what Chair Powell's got to say and just watch those markets, guys. So the best of luck. Remember, as I said, recap Monday, London's close, so could be some significant volatility, whether Powell says something or nothing, or doesn't say anything, and that could be all down to markets wanting to balance up for the end of the month, the end of the week. But let's have a quick run through where we are at the moment. Obviously, we're all very quiet and range bound until he says something. So, dollar index itself playing with 93, sort of biased to the upside. It's been all the way to 93.17 today as well. The dollar got a bid, but then we're back down and down quite significantly now at 92.20. Euro. Again, volatile, biased it upside this time, but we talked about the levels, 17.75, 17.50 and 17.25. They're the three levels to watch. Dollar yen, again, we talked about the in the wider range up here on the daily time frame, but intraday, dollar yen is currently supported by 110. Whether that holds or not, we'll see what Mr. Powell has got to say. And there's obviously anything that comes out of Afghanistan particularly impacts this pair. Dollar yen. Sterling remains above 137 at the moment, but capped by 137.50. But it's had a go at that in this hour. But that's the 50 pip range. Can it break? If it breaks that 137.50, 137.75. But again, we're coming into the it's the afternoon on Friday before a long weekend in London, so a lot of those positions might have already been closed out. Turned around immediately as I'm talking now, as the hours come. So it looks like the hour is as up, and the speech is probably being released, and I can't see it here immediately here on my. They're out and talking. See what's okay. let's have a look at his. Yeah, Esther George is on the card. So bank looks like it's dollar weak at the moment. This first a few comments were over 137.50 cable. Euro will have breached that 1775 level. Indeed, we have. So we're being bid to the upside as Miss George speaks at the moment. Dollar yen down under 110. One would expect. There we go. Under 110 as the speech is starting now. So do join them. I'm going to go and listen as well. So take care, everyone. Stay safe. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you all next week. And thanks for being here. And as I say, have a great weekend, and we'll see you all next week. There's no new comments on Facebook. No, any new comments on YouTube? There's nothing here. So anyway, guys, take care, and we'll see you all again next week. I'll be back in the office next week, so I'm going back to Cyprus Sunday. So take care, everyone, and stay safe, and we'll see you soon. All the best, everyone. Bye-bye.